I really don't know how to do introductions, but thank you for giving us this interview today. Oh,
okay.
Don't worry.
I'm sorry about that.
No worries. Thank you for giving us the time for the interview.
Thank you.
This is for Audición Progresiva. I think this has already happened last time, so this time I think we have a bit different questions.
Sure. Okay.
So
yeah.
I would like to start with a question about your most recent projects and how has this new technology, that the fact that it's more portable and digital, how has that influenced your ways of making music?
Well, a few years ago we were in Zimbabwe, and we were at Victoria Falls, and I went to a party afterwards, and I was playing drums with a local band, like a party thing, hand drums, and Joe recorded it on the phone.
Oh.
And we've incorporated it into a couple of new songs, one of which has an orchestral kind of feeling to it, because when we were in Zimbabwe looking at Victoria Falls for the first time, they showed us on one side, you just see the spray from the falls, this massive gorge, and the spray looks so beautiful. I immediately got a piece of music in my mind, so there were two things that came from this African thing, and of course the technology was right there on the phone, so we incorporated it, made a loop from it, and the idea, like a second camera unit, of going somewhere and you could film something, and we filmed it, we recorded it, and even the other day I was in Brazil and I was working with an old friend of mine, Richie, who had a hit with a record in early 1980s anyway, and I was on it. It was this little room that we recorded in about this size, and it became a #1 record. And he wanted to re-record it, and I was in England, and so I recorded it in a friend's studio in his garden, and they said, "Oh, can you do a video of it?" So my wife Jo videoed me playing, and we sent it to him, and he's got to use it. So again, the mobility and the instant thing is important. Mobiles I find very important, for film and sometimes for sound. When we were in lockdown, I was doing one of several albums that it was an acoustic album called Under a Mediterranean Sky, and we did the idea of different tracks from around the Mediterranean describing different countries, and one was Spanish called Andalusian Heart. And with this one, we made our living room look like Spain, with a screen and candle and everything. It looked very Spanish, and it was a very sort of Spanish classical sounding thing, and
it had the feeling.
It had the feeling of that. We used a little bit of stock footage of Spain, but we were also finding places in the area that looked, because it was summer, looked like Spain. So I think we made people think that I was walking through Spain and gardens and stuff like that. So, because my wife Jo was a filmmaker when I first met her, so we did this one, and we were also in Egypt, visiting the Valley of the Kings and the pyramids of Giza and all of that, the Sphinx, all of that. So she shot film of that, and then when we were back in England, with the inability in lockdown to be able to do live shows, we used sand on the beach to make it look like I was walking across the Sahara, and we mixed it with film that we had of visiting the Valley of the Kings, the dead pharaohs, all of that. So I hope that answers the question. Some of it,
yeah, it really does.
The realm of
the portability itself, because
yes,
I can imagine it was very different back in the 70s and 80s.
yes, it was very different. Yeah, but I like to work with found things, and Joe's sister, Amanda Lehman. I recorded something on a mobile phone and sent it to her, and she turned it into a song.
That's the magic of post-production.
That was it. It was, yes. It sounded super compressed on the phone, but one take, and she used it and turned it into something. So obviously technology can afford much more than that, and of course you have all the other possibilities to do the things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It has also helped me a lot.
Yes.
Because, you know, whenever I am traveling as well, I can record stuff and all that.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess I would also ask about whenever you have an idea nowadays, how are you able to catch it, to say something, and like you do it now or leave a record or something like that, and how different it was from the 70s, to say something?
Well, I think because I'm traveling a lot, I don't always rely on technology. I like to write things down. I'm quite old-fashioned. I believe in pen and paper. I like to work like this, and then if something works on the page, whether it's a melody or lyric, the page is cold. You know, there's nothing sexy about the page. It's the most basic thing.
Yeah.
If something seems to be magic on the page, then you've got a chance of having not necessarily a complete score, but you've got a spark that will work.
Yeah, that's definitely very interesting, and I like your take about pen and paper.
Yeah.
I also do the same.
Yes, there you are. You have pen. There we are.
Yeah.
So this is how it works.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Well, the next question is still about music, and it's mostly about your first album, Voyage of the Acolyte.
Yeah.
And well, a little bit of context. I also read tarot. I have my cards in my bag, and I was curious about what brought you to use those specific cards. You know, the Priestess, the Star, the Tower, the Hierophant. I'm kind of skipping over the Ace of Wands because it's definitely something quite obvious. But my question was, what brought you to use those cards, and what story are you trying to share by using them?
Well, I was writing music at the same time as I was looking at the cards, and I think that it gave the album a focus, sometimes for instrumental things, but very often for vocal things. I was probably writing in a style that might be different to what I would do today, but I liked exploring the possibilities of something that was both symbolic and oracular, the idea of prediction, and I found them quite magic, and I was fascinated with them. The little stories that went with them, like a tower struck down, and I was looking at various packs and various types of interpretations of the same thing, and so I got an overall picture because of different packs that had been designed at different times. I don't spend much time doing tarot these days, although somebody who's married to a cousin of Joe, he says that when he does tarot, he does get predictions of the future, that they genuinely speak to him, something magical happens, and it's an extraordinary idea that he would get clarity from this.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the album itself is saying something. At least to me, I really love the way you portrayed the cards, musically speaking, because if I hear, say, a Star of Sirius, I definitely think of the card itself. It definitely conveys a lot of that energy, I would say, you know.
Yeah, that song was written late. I'd actually done the album, and then some people said, "Oh, I think you need one more song." So I took a week off and wrote the song, and then went straight back into the studio. And Phil said he would sing it, you know, and he did a very quick kind of 3-part harmony on it.
Yeah.
And, but you can tell it's his voice. I enjoyed very much working with Phil and with Mike doing that, and Sally Oldfield, and my brother in particular, and John Aycock, a lot of the people. John Aycock is no longer alive, which is very sad, and Robin Miller, who played oboe and cor anglais. They were all great to work with. He's no longer alive now, so. And another guy played bass, Johnny Gustafson, was on one of the tracks, Star of Sirius. He's no longer alive, but
they were doing their thing.
Everyone was young and vital, and they're all in spirit now, so I believe that there is a world of spirit and that people do carry on. So it's probably about as cosmic as I am today with this. You know, I believe that the subtext also of music is to heal people. It's medicine, and it re-energizes people. It's also a kind of there's a kind of ambassadorial role. You know, it's like, you know, I'm not invading anyone with anything other than harmony.
I think that's really cool, and it's an interesting point of view. I also definitely think kind of the same thing. Who knows? They might as well be here with us, you know.
Well, that's right. Yes, they might as well be here with us, and perhaps they are when we think of them. I'm hoping that when we do finally pass on, that life will make more sense rather than less sense. I've had some spiritual experiences myself, and the father of a friend of mine who runs a Hungarian band called Jabe, his father was in Holland. A Hungarian man in Holland, and his father had a heart attack, and when he was being treated by doctors, he had an out-of-body experience, and he said he could understand what they were saying perfectly in Dutch. He could understand perfectly, and he also saw what was going on around, and when they brought him back to life, he said to the doctors, he said, "Oh yes, you stopped outside the surgery, the theatre, and stopped to tie your shoelace," or blah, blah, blah. And it was all verifiable information. So, and this man was an artist, and it changed the way he was painting stuff. It became very symbolic and very, almost like folklore tales. But it was a profound experience for him and for his son, who runs this, I would say, fusion band, Jabe.
That's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Experience, yes.
Yeah.
So we all get to have, I think we all get to have experiences that are paranormal and cannot be explained except by saying, well, this is a clue for something that we're here with local consciousness, and with any luck, when we pass on, perhaps we attain some other form of expanded consciousness.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting philosophy. So, well, this next question kind of revolves around someone who passed away, but it's more of a quote.
Yes.
About the categorization of your music, of progressive rock, you know?
Right.
So I was watching an interview about Life Within a Day with you and Chris Style.
Yes.
And I think that the interviewer asked Chris about prog itself, and he said that when they first started, they weren't doing prog rock. Someone came with that term, and it stuck.
Yes.
And you said that you were doing art rock, and then you were doing art deeper. So I was wondering, what do you think about this prog rock tag?
Well, the term art rock was something that the Americans used to describe early Genesis, and they also called it theatrical rock. The term prog rock really has only been applied in retrospect to albums that were done 50 years before there was any idea of this. So it's a way of categorizing music that I think was intending to be a bridge between a number of styles, pan-genre, inclusive. Any style is welcome, whether it's pop, blues, comedy, pantomime, anything, long form, short form, classical influences, jazz influences. But I always used the term inclusive, because I try to include as many styles as possible. So I get to work with people from Azerbaijan, from India, from Brazil, working with instruments from all around the world, as well as people from Europe. So I guess it's a kind of United Nations of an approach. I love music from everywhere, all kinds of music, and if I was able to play all these instruments, that would be absolutely bloody marvelous. But at the end of the day, this is why we need each other, you know. To I can't be a virtuoso with everything. It's not possible. You can write, and you can give people space to write. I think the idea of saying goodbye to professionalism and allowing things to happen that you may be able to incorporate later into something that has form, as long as you let the spirit run free, I think that can work. So sometimes I've used performances of didgeridoo
and many other different things.
Many different things, yes. Sitar, guitar, nylon guitar, orchestral instruments. And they all have their place. They all have their beauty. And I didn't understand that when I was young. When I was young, I was just listening to one or two things. But over time, I came to realize that all instruments are important.
That's an interesting take, because I always see debate about prog rock, and you always find this like cluster of bands that fall into this prog rock category.
Yes,
say
yes.
Yes, Genesis, King
Yes.
Crimson,
Yeah.
and it's an interesting.
It's the same old names, isn't it? That's the truth.
Yeah.
But obviously, music is much wider than that. You've got all of the amazing classics, the amazing people in jazz, amazing people in flamenco, so many styles, and people say to me, "Oh, have you heard such and such and such and such?" No, not yet, but I would like to. I would like to hear. The influence of music from the Andes is uplifting and beautiful, and it might be like folk music to you, of course, but it can also be wonderful. Hi, Jojo. How are we doing? People that I have to see, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Oh, okay. We're going to finish this as soon as possible. So
Okay, so I have to be a quickie because I have to be on stage in a minute.
no worries. So, ¿cuánto tenemos ahí, Wendy?
Okay.
¿Cuánto tenemos? Yeah. Well, okay. So taking back again so you would say that prog rock is like a very tight categorization for music.
I think it can be a limiting description. People think, oh, prog rock, then it must have a Hammond organ, it must have a mellotron, the songs must be long, impenetrable time signature is difficult.
Okay.
Well, that wasn't what drove us originally, just the idea of writing a good song, a good arrangement.
And doing what you wanted to do.
Yeah, following your heart and just allowing things to happen. No rules, just allow it to happen. To be relaxed about it.
And that's really good. I think that's very relatable as well. So, well, we have to finish this quick. So
We do, because I have to say hi to people and then I'm on stage.
thank you so much for this interview. It was a pleasure.
Yes,
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, always a pleasure, and thank you so much for giving us the time and those wonderful
Thank you.
answers.
Oh, good. I hope you enjoy the gig tonight. We have fun.